I have a crazy video today in regards to the power of reconciliation and how a lot of us can, in fact, directly affect the 3D of other people. So recently, I had someone reach out to me that wanted to work with me. In the manifesting community, we often hear the terms birds before lands or the bridge of incidents. And so for those of you that may be new to manifesting, the birds before lands or the bridge of incidents is basically the events that are occurring in your life, either directly to you or around you, that are eventually signs, if you will, that are going to lead you to whatever your manifestation is. And a lot of times when people are in that manifesting journey, when they are first starting out especially, a lot of us always look for signs and symptoms for wonders that we are on the right path, that we are doing the correct thing. I recently had someone that reached out to me in the country of India, I believe, that wanted to work with me one-on-one. And we had a FaceTime. And when I tell you the sequence of events that has happened to her in her life, particularly around a specific person type of situation, but not that it happened directly to her, but what happened to the people around her that she knew in her life personally is mind-boggling to me. And this is exactly why I will continue to say to you guys, do not skip over Ho'oponopono, because what I'm getting ready to tell you in this story is extremely powerful, and it will show you what happens when you apply this regularly. So this viewer reached out to me in regards to getting a specific person back. So what I did with this person is the same thing that I do with all my clients that I work with. I wanted a backstory of what they had already known about LOA, and I also wanted the backstory about somewhat of how they've grown up, what happened in their life, etc., so I can really get down to the bottom of where all of their blocks are. So this viewer proceeded to give me all of the information that I needed, and I realized what the two main problems were. And what I said to this person was, I said, for the next 30 days, I only want you to do X, Y, and Z. One of those things that I told this person that I wanted them to do was the Ho'oponopono technique. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you how shocked I was with the results that happened, not directly to her, but to the people around her in a very short period of time. Because this person has not been doing the plan that we came up with for not that long. It hasn't even been a month yet. I don't believe so. And these results that are happening around her is just amazing, which again, like I said earlier in the video, can be attributed to, as we say in the manifesting community, birds before lands or the bridge of incidents. Recently, I received the email from this viewer a couple of days ago explaining to me miraculous things that were happening around her but not happening to her, and she shared her frustration. So I stand corrected, because looking back at our first email, we actually first spoke on January 8th, so it's basically roughly been about a month. So after we first spoke in January, on January 8th, she proceeded to contact me a few weeks later, towards the end of January, on January 24th, and she sent me an email saying the following: "Hi, I am feeling a lot better after doing Ho'oponopono. I have revised a few childhood stuff in my relationship with my parents are better now. Regarding revision with my ex-husband, can I revise? The relationship with him was perfect throughout. We never got divorced. I don't know what he is doing now. He might be married again, but will this affect him, or can I do that revision of a perfect relationship with him?" So I gave her my response on January 24th, and she wrote back, "Thank you," and I hadn't heard from her until the beginning of February. So February 3rd, I got an email from her, which is the email I'm getting ready to read, and I was astounded with what I heard that was going on around her, not directly to her. And her email read as follows. So she went on to write 4 different bullet points that I'm getting ready to read over. So bullet point number 1 says, "My friend 1 reconciled with his wife." Her second bullet point says, "My friend 2 reconciled with his wife." Her third bullet point says, "My friend 3, whose husband left her for a third party, realized his mistake and came back to her and apologized." Her bullet point number 4 says, "My colleague who rejected a girl who loved him so truly realized his mistake and started feeling he took her for granted and told me that he started regretting for his actions." Wow. She then went on to say, "I don't know, but I felt like these are things which I always wanted for myself, and all of a sudden it's happening around me. A random guy saw my pic in an app and asked me, 'Shall we marry? I love you.' I got super surprised." Again, wow. My question to you guys is, do you think all of this is a coincidence? Do you just think that this just so happened to happen and that her doing what routine we came up with, do you think that has zero effect, or do you think it does have an effect? Because the fact that all of this is happening around the same exact time that I gave her a routine to follow, the fact that this is happening, this is what I mentioned earlier in the video. This is a perfect example. And I told her when I responded to the email, I said, this is a perfect example of birds before land. This is a perfect example with the bridge of incidents. And I went on to mention to her, I said, don't focus on the fact that it's not happening to you, because people, we get so caught up in seeing all of these great things happening to other people, and we think to ourselves, why isn't it happening to us? You have to get excited and go general, as Abraham Hicks says. Abraham Hicks loves to talk about going general for people that can't be too specific about things, because as I religiously stated, this manifestation stuff is different for all of us. It's different for everybody that's doing it. Some people can do it one way, some people can do it another way. But when you're having a difficult time being more specific with something, just go general. And so instead of focusing on the fact that this stuff didn't happen to you, you have to focus on the fact and reach for that feeling, that good feeling of, it's not happening to me, but at least it's happening to people around me, which gives me hope that it will happen to me eventually at some point in the near future. And this is why I religiously have stated to people that I work with, and even on this channel, to always focus on what you want to see. Focus on the good that's happening around you, because the good is always there if you pay attention to it. Good is there, you have to look for it. But what we've been trained to do a lot of times, in my opinion, is we've been trained to look for the bad in the situation, or pay attention to the bad in the situation, and to completely overlook the fact that, oh, it's happening to this person over here, but it's not happening to me. But the fact that it is happening to the people in your sphere is letting you know, oh wow, this is close. Get your feelings excited over the fact that it's happening to people around you, because it's just a matter of time before it happens to you. So I'm very excited for this viewer that I worked with, and the fact that in only less than a month, because she sent me this email back on February 3rd explaining to me what had happened. So the fact that it wasn't even a month when she sent me this email yet, I'm excited for her growth and what's going to happen for her in her future, because in 3 weeks, you look at what happened to her, or you look at rather what happened around her, that lets me know she's going down the right path. And what she's doing right now is a perfect example of how Ho'oponopono works, and a perfect example of exactly what Dr. Hugh Lin did when he healed that mental institution. You see, one of the great lessons in Ho'oponopono was from Dr. Hugh Lin. When he healed that entire mental institution, everybody around him started getting results. Everybody around him started healing. Everybody around him got better. And this is exactly what's happening in this woman's life that I worked with. All of those examples, those 4 bullet points I just gave to you, those examples are changing all around her, because she's taking responsibility of why did those situations maybe pop up in her life. Because the underlying factor of this situation, she saw all of those bullet points that I just went over, those 4 bullet points. She saw those, probably saw those examples of when they happened in the beginning in a bad way. And it probably affected her on a mental level, seeing her friends or whoever go through those types of situations, which also then in turn affected how she looked at things, which could have also played a big role in her downfall in her situation with her ex-husband, or whatever the case might have been. But now that she's taking responsibility and she's cleansing and healing using the Ho'oponopono technique, now look at all her friends around her are getting better. And it's just a matter of time before she gets what she wants or something better. Because at the end of the email, as I read, you just heard her say some random person reached out to her on an app saying, shall we marry? I love you. And if that ain't proof and evidence of whatever she's doing is working, I don't know what is. The routine we came up with for her is definitely working, and I'm super happy for her, and I'm super proud of her for sticking to it, because she said she felt better on January 24th. And then a couple weeks after that, she contacted me with the news of all of these great things happening around her to people that she knew. And it's only a matter of time before she writes me her success story on whatever happens in her situation. And I cannot wait to read that success story, because I know she's gonna win. So again, please let this be a huge wake-up call to all of you out there that might have never tried the Ho'oponopono technique, or have never come up with a schedule, or have never revised certain things in your life that you may need to. Please let this be a reminder, because what I went over with this young woman, it helped her tremendously, and you guys hear the results that she got in this story alone. So if she can get these results in less than a month, what do you think can happen if you come up with a game plan and you stick to those results? The same thing. And you too will start to see the bridge of incidents and the birds before it lands, and you will see ultimately that your manifestation will come to fruition in a very short period of time. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click the next one because I'm sure you'll enjoy that one too.